Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is Wednesday, April 10th, and it is time for your RBG monthly roundup. So, it has been a very eventful month here at RBG Esports, and we're sorry to get to you a little bit later this week. There's been some issues with travel and scheduling and everything, but we're very glad to be here tonight. I am joined by our CEO, Josh Arcia, randomized yet again, and our event coordinator, Dan Sellers, WorldCar. How you guys doing tonight?
Doing pretty good. How about you?
I'm very well. I'm glad to be back with y'all.
Yeah,
man.
doing well. First podcast appearance, so I'm really excited to have the chance to join you guys on this. I listen to so many podcasts, it's like I should probably be on one at some point.
There you go.
We do talk about your field, so yeah, I definitely agree.
Yeah, I can weigh in on that.
Absolutely. Tonight is going to be a big one for you and all the events RBG has got going on. But yeah, at large, I'll give you guys a quick rundown here. So we're going to go over some roster and game updates. We're going to talk about our community or our upcoming community events. And then we're going to take some questions from the community. We've already got 5 or 6 prepared ahead of time that we curated from our Discord. When it does get to that section of the show, though, if you would like to chime in the Twitch chat, we might consider taking some out of there. But yeah, at large, we're going to walk you through where RBG Esports is right now, how our teams are doing, any big changes, and things of that nature.
And if you're on YouTube, make sure you leave a comment down below with a question if you have any.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We would love to get back to you. We'd love to hear from you all. That's why we're here. So let's get things started off with our rosters and like game updates. So our last big thing last time we were on here a month ago for the March update was the signing of our Apex squad. So how have things been going at large with that you guys can comment on or that you want to share with the community?
Yeah, so it was like right after our podcast we signed an Apex team, and it was going pretty well. It started off strong. We picked up 3 players. So Frosty, we picked up I don't have the roster in front of me and I can't look. Circola, and we picked up Vro. Thank you, Nate, for the 4 months Twitch Prime, by the way. Appreciate it.
Woo.
So yeah, we picked up those 3 guys, and things started off well. They were actually placing pretty high in some of the tournaments. The way the tournaments were mostly about kills in a certain amount of time, either best of 1, 2s, or 3s. Pick your best 1, 2, or 3 games within an hour or 2, and then add them up and stuff like that. Because like there's no custom games right now. Still, they started playing in this Discord called Apex Pro NA, and they basically do exactly what Fortnite does because there's no custom games. They all pick one server. And then they queue at the same time, and there's a bot that where basically if anyone that plays Apex, it goes your champion, it shows your champion in the front. You take the middle guy, you take the first 5 letters, you type it into a command, and then the bot basically tells you who's in your game. So there were times where like our RBG guys were versing, I believe, like Cloud9 and NRG at one point. They struggled a lot because they were so used to a lot of just kill games, just going around and getting as many kills, or when the strategic side of slowing down your game, gaining more information, stuff like that, going against players that also can aim extremely well was a struggle. And then Frosty has been playing on a very, very horrible computer. His graphics card was so low that he was playing 30 frames per second on Apex. He got to the point where it was actually hurting his eyes, that he would just struggle playing the game in general. So Frosty's been a little bit away until he could save up. He's been working his butt off at his job, trying to save up money to get a new graphics card. And Circola just moved to Miami. He lives in Florida, but he moved to Miami, and he's been having eye problems as well, to the point where he couldn't look at the game. So Cola just got his glasses. He's getting his glasses this Friday. This video will be uploaded probably today, Wednesday, or tomorrow, Thursday, for anyone that's watching. But this Friday, I believe he's going to get it. So Vro has been just grinding. We are still potentially looking at getting a B team, and that will be nice because so far there's no rules in Apex having multiple teams, and that'll also allow these players to kind of trade as long as they're signed under. They can trade it around and everything and see which rosters they do like the best. So, more to come from Apex. It's just we're kind of waiting to see where Respawn will actually take the game and when they're going to put in custom games. So I'm not too worried about Apex at the moment.
That's crazy. It sounds like the Wild West of esports. I mean, the game came out like what 3 months ago or less, and implementing a esports infrastructure takes a lot longer than that. So it makes sense that it's a bit crazy, but yeah, they should hurry on that custom games feature, because it's like Twitch viewership is such a big part of that game and that game's success that should be at the top of their to-do list. And
Well,
I just to weigh in about the competitive side of when you get into a server with Cloud9 and like what are you supposed to do? I think it's really interesting with BRs, because you have these people like Ninja that are just used to running through people, getting huge kill games, and when you come up against a squad who's really like insanely good like you, and you don't know it, you have to completely change the way you engage them, and you have no idea. So there's a lot of random factors, RNG involved in BRs, in the map and the way the circle closes, but also in your opponent in a given firefight. So that's a struggle that BRs are having in all of them. PUBG, every single Fortnite, every single one. Like, how do you make an esport out of something that is inherently largely random? So I mean, it can be done. There's people pushing the forefront. Like a lot of Fortnite events are trying out new formats and ways to put skill to the forefront and make sure the best players win. But I think it's really interesting how that's developing, and I'm very keen on how it goes in Apex, because I think of all the BRs, that one's the best suited for esports.
Absolutely. I do think, like, just to add on to that a little bit, one of the big problems they're facing right now is there's not a spectation option.
Yeah,
there's not a
that too.
way for people to cast this. Like, you can't cast it and watch it and show it as a live streamed tournament, or even a
Yeah.
video or something. It's just player perspectives right now. So that'll be an interesting hurdle for Respawn to get over, and EA. But at large, I'm glad RBG is on the mend with the Apex team a little bit. I hope the guys all get their respective
Yeah.
situations sorted out here soon. I know there's some monsters out there. I've seen plenty of screenshots of 20, 30 kill games, and some craziness
It's
coming out of them.
insane.
I'm excited to see these guys get to play when they do finally get these leagues up and running fully.
Definitely.
So speaking of screenshots and of sharing gameplay and things like that, another thing that is going on that we want to update you all with is our stream team, which I believe we also mentioned in the last podcast as a startup event, that we were beginning the groundwork of having a stream team, and that I can say that has been progressing pretty well.
Yeah,
It's been a little over a month.
Yeah, no, it's been about a month since we've released it, and I'm sorry, my leg got really itchy. Yeah, it's been about a month since we released it. We have, I believe, 11 or 12 stream teams, or like community members now, that have applied, and we are still taking more, because this is going to be like a big streaming community thing. It's more of a place where players will be able to, and I shouldn't say players, I should say content creators are free to grow themselves here within RBG Esports, represent the organization, help us out. In return, we have been planning some cool things where basically we'll be doing giveaways to our stream team and prizes. So if you've done something great, if you hit a milestone, or if you helped out RBG in any way possible, it puts stream team members in a place to possibly win, I guess, giveaways and prizes in RBG Esports. So, I mean, if anyone is still interested in joining, they can come to our Discord, and they will see an application at the top. And as long as you're an affiliate and you're 18 years or older, you can apply to the stream team, and then from there we'll go through the application, announce if you have gotten it or not, and stuff like that. But yeah, no, it's been growing. It's been great. So far, out of everyone that's became a stream team member, we've only lost one, and it was just due to personal reasons and connections to other people that have left RBG, and that person decided they wanted to leave. So, no hard feelings. You know, you want to do what you got to do, go for it. You know, so otherwise, it's been great. It's growing. It's helping us. It's helping them, and I can't wait to see where else this is gonna go.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's so that's a project that's been headed up by Godfrey a little bit since he's joined sort of the administrative sides, and it's been really good. I've as a part of that more directly, I've been working with him and with some of the other streamers, and he's been really pushing, helping us update content, and how to sort of hone our craft a little bit more and things like that. So it really is a great relationship all the way around for those members and for us as an organization.
Yeah, it's awesome for people like me who are just like fans of this stuff and like to tune in. I'm not super involved on the stream team side, but I love tuning in to Godfrey and all those guys. What's the easiest way? Because do we have that Twitch TV kind of channel?
Twitch.
Yeah, can you go through how we? Yeah,
it's simple. Twitch.tv/team/RBG.
.tv/teams team or just team.
I think it's teams.
Teamwork. I think it's just team singular. Oh, great. Yeah.
Team. Yep. So if you go to twitch.tv/team/RBG, you will see basically everything, all the streamers there, and we'll be adding more and more, obviously, to it. It's really cool. I mean, I've been.
It's a pretty big list. That's awesome. 5 live right now.
Yeah. Absolutely. Great. Absolutely. Well, yes, if you all would please at home, when you see this, run down that list, go check these people out. They're putting out great content. They're, representing RPG. They're part of our community and, our growing family. So do go show them some love when you get the moment. But so we just wanted to give them a shout out and talk about that program again a little bit more. If any of you at home are interested, again, go in our Discord and there's a stream team application that you should be able to find pretty easily. If you have any difficulties or questions, feel free to contact one of our moderators, one of our staff members. But moving forward with kind of the main event of the night, if you happen to follow at RBG Esports on Twitter, or if you're in our Discord, or if you've tuned into the Gauntlets on Saturday nights, or on
even Instagram.
Yeah. Or
it's been said there was a post today.
Exactly. There's all kinds of places that you might have heard that we have an updated Rocket League roster.
Yeah, you can find that on Facebook too. Forgot about that. Yeah, so we just recently signed a day or two ago. What's today? Wednesday? So yesterday, this is day 2. So yesterday on Tuesday, April 9th, we officially signed the new Rocket League team, Aeon, Rapid, and Astro, with Glocka as the sub. They used to be Continuum. Which also used to be Compadres. They had a lot of name changes. Rapid used to play, I believe, on Manhattan, and then after last season, Compadres switched their name to Continuum. Moses
and Aeon was on Lights Out for a while too.
Yeah, and then Moses stepped away from Continuum, and then they picked up Rapid, and so now it's Aeon, Rapid, and Astro. I believe it was Manhattan. I can't remember off the top of my head, to be completely honest. Because that's 2 seasons ago, and it kind of Magicians. That's what it is. Thank you. We have Thunder in the chat. Magicians. The M's confused me over and over again. But yeah, if you haven't seen it, it's on our YouTube channel. You can go check out our YouTube channel. Link is in the description below, both in Twitch and Twitter. And cool. It was a cool announcement. Swan put it together. Very happy that he put that together. It came out really well. You can actually watch. I believe it was either Astro or Aeon getting a sick goal on Rapid. So that was very interesting. It was actually very funny when we showed the players the announcement before we made it live in case they wanted anything changed. And Rapid's like, I'm going to watch this. I'm going to deafen myself. He didn't say a word. We were just kind of chilling and talking. All of a sudden, Rapid comes back in this very deep, manly voice. He has a very deep voice. And he was just like, you put the shot that... I forgot which one it was. Like, Aeon... scored on me. What is this? Get rid of it.
Take this down immediately.
And I was like, because he said that, I'm like, we're keeping it. But yeah, so it's really cool. I'm excited for it. You know, I'm still sad that we did let go of the original roster, Noxus, Car, and Thunder. Um, you know, I got to be honest. When Swan and I were letting go of the team, uh, Swan and I were joking around with you know how like they say it's not official until it's on Facebook, like Facebook official.
Facebook official.
So Swan and I didn't want to believe that we did drop the team, and the last thing we had to edit was our Wikipedia page, and I think it took Swan and I probably till the next day. Like we sat on the phone, and he was like, "You do it." I'm like, "No, you do it. No, you do it." So I it was very hard. You know, that was like our first time having a roster for such a long time. And that was like in reality, that's the first ever official roster that stuck together for a long time. Yes, we had Rocket League team before that, but they were there for maybe a month or two, so it wasn't that. It was a little different when you signed a team for 6 months.
Right.
And
Rocket League has tended to be the bread and butter of RBG, and
yeah,
that coupled with, you know, we as an organization that are still, you know, fairly young and growing, and them as players that are, you know, growing in their career and still have a lot of playtime ahead of them, you know, being this relationship with both of us, you know, getting our feet wet, going into like high level competitive Rocket League, that does form a close bond.
yeah,
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 big steps for all parties involved throughout that long tenure, 2 seasons of RLRS qualifiers and many tournaments in between. I still think I wasn't there, but I think about it all the time. The run in DreamHack Montreal that they had, and to perform on a big stage like that so well as a new crew, like never played on land together before,
hmm
warming up on laptops, flying out, just making it work with Beard Runner and Randomize there helping out, and it was just I was shocked that they were able to stay so calm under pressure and make it to the finals, and it didn't obviously end in a completely happy story, but there was so much to build on, and that experience is so vital. And yeah, I think about that run all the time and how cool it is that that happened. It's a great memory of mine, and I was just tuning in on the broadcast, so
yeah.
must have been amazing for everybody who was there.
Quick shout out to Gingerbeard Senpai. I love how you changed his name. Thank you for the 7 months Twitch Prime. Appreciate that, my man. And I guess while we're in the topic of Rocket League really quickly, I do want to touch upon some things that have been going around. And, you know, like sometimes I gotta be honest, sometimes I will forget that we are growing at such a fast speed and a lot of people are watching us. Not just the players, but at the org itself. You know, sometimes I get in these moments where I just sometimes forget that people also recognize the org, and I just think they're just watching the players. So I kind of sit back, and if the players go a little out of hand, I go like, "Hey, clean yourself, like clean that up, like don't be like that." Um, but like I forget that people do really pay attention to what we do as well. And one of the things that people have been mentioning was the whole dropping one roster, picking up another, and people will have to remember that it's not always the organization. There was a big Reddit post that went down about us. Apparently, it's still going. Even though I thought I squashed the bug, it's still going. It kind of helped the fact that it was Space Station and RBG. It wasn't just us. So I think I squashed the bug on the RBG side, but not Space Station. But like in reality,
You want to go over the basics of the post, and so for people that didn't see it?
yeah, it's somewhere.
It basically just said that for Space Station, who recently picked up Bread, dropping their RLRS team and moving into RLCS, and it was saying, "What man? What?" And RBG as well. Like, why couldn't they be loyal to their players, stick around? And it was just kind of criticizing the mentality of, you know, just picking up a roster, kind of signing an existing team rather than building one from scratch,
Yeah,
which lots of orgs have done, and including Dignitas did that as well with Turtles team, and they picked up the Dignitas we know now. So
which originally
that,
was Flipside.
yeah, yeah.
You know,
I don't know if it's flip side, but they were Gale Force before.
Gale Force. That's what
But
I meant. Sorry.
Yeah,
green colors.
but yeah, I mean, Turtle was on the old Dignitas, and now he's on the broadcast of like he's a caster. Like,
Mhm.
a lot of times the team that is getting dropped is crumbling itself and going its own separate ways, growing apart. It's not as always as simple as just like perfectly fine team, trash that, better team. Like it's not the whole story at all.
Yeah, a lot
In
of
most
people
of the
forget
cases,
that it's not just necessarily like Dan said that pretty well. Like we're not a lot of teams and organizations don't necessarily just drop a team, pick up a better team. Some organizations do that because in reality, people forget it's not just always about the video game. It's also how businesses are looked upon,
right?
and sponsors out there don't always look at your wins. A lot of people will have this false thought of, oh, they only sponsor teams that place top 4 in every single game. Like, no, that is a factor. It helps, but their sponsors also look at just strictly your numbers, your players, how do they behave. You know, I had a sponsor
A lot of
where
factors.
they literally told me that they have been watching RBG since Montreal and they're still watching us. So like I feel like a lot of people forget that. Like it's not always about whether it's the loyalty of the player, it's the can the business handle having the player? Sometimes there's a money issue. Sometimes it's just straightly we don't have the money to support an organization or support a team. We have to drop out, and then something could happen. You get more money, and boom, you come back. So Space Station might have just been like, you know what, RLRS isn't really pulling anything in for us, so we don't want to be in it. Then a season later, they see, oh, there's an RLCS team not signed. Boom, jumping in. Like it's a business decision, and people have to remember that it's a crummy line to this day because everyone says it now. Nothing personal, just business. And that's the reality of business, including esports. It's who we are. We're a business. We try to stay as family friendly, especially at RBG, as much as possible. We try to support as much as we can. But in the end of the day, it's a freaking business. And even we had to make the choice. I mean, when a lot of people were asking, like, RBG, you dropped your roster and you picked up Continuum. Why? It really came down to the fact of, well, the Rocket League team, the original Rocket League, the RBG team, Noxus, Car, and Thunder, they agreed that if they did not make RLRS, they will not stay as a team. It was an agreement upon the players. And RBG actually was the guy, we were the ones who were trying to say, no, stick it out. And we had players on the team. I'm not going to name names, but we had players on the team that just said, no, I don't want to stick with this roster. If we don't make it, I want to move on. So I was like, all right, that's fine with me. Then
Right.
I'm not gonna force you guys to do it. I don't want to force you guys to play on a team if you're not happy with it. So if that's the idea, that's what they want to do.
Right. Yeah. And no no player is going to perform their best on a team that they don't want to be in. So that's kind of it's where our goal is winning, and the kind of keeping someone against their will if they want to go elsewhere is counter to that. So that's not even really a consideration for us.
Yeah. So we'll probably talk about that a little bit more later because we've had some questions about it.
Oh yeah, in the question box. That's right.
Yeah, we'll definitely dive a little deeper into some of the decision making that went behind picking up Aeon, Rapid, and Astro. But for now, we'll leave it at that, and we'll come back. And if you all have any specific questions, feel free at that time when we get to it to bring it up in the Twitch chat, or if you're watching this on YouTube in a recording, please feel free to go into the comments or into our Discord even and post questions for next time, and we'll be sure to get to them.
Yeah.
But so moving along a little bit into Mr. Stellar's wheelhouse with some of our upcoming events here. We've got the Gauntlet, of course, every week. We've got some Dream Hacks coming up around the corner, I hear. Possibly some other things in the works that you're gonna spring on us or consider springing on us. But let's start off with the Gauntlet. The Gauntlet's been around a long time now. We're pretty solidly switched into our Saturday night roles.
Mm-hmm.
Give us a little bit of an update for the folks at home.
Yeah. So our biggest thing with the Gauntlet has been consistency. We want to be a place where, you know, the Rocket League community can go to reliably have higher tier competition and get experience under tournament conditions, because there's been a bit of a void in that in the last few years. Even there was a post on the Rocket League Esports subreddit today saying, at the top, saying, what the heck happened to Tier 2 Rocket League? Like, there used to be ESLs every week, Gfinities every week, where you'd have like Flipside playing like PSG in the finals, and it was it was like a small tournament on the weekends. It wasn't anything to do with RLCS. And so what happened? And what happened was there was a lot of money being pumped into those tournaments by Psyonix, by Gfinity Elite Studio over in the UK, and that money dried up. And Psyonix didn't feel it was useful for them to keep putting money into ESL. So ESL, Cloud Fuel mentioned this on Reddit today, and so ESL stopped running Rocket League. They're like, if you're not going to pay for this, we're not going to do it. Which there's been murmurings that they may come back, and they appear to really like Rocket League. It'd be great to have them back in the scene, but we came in with our goal, and my goal as the event coordinator, to fill this space in this game's community that we love so much. And we thought the best way to do that was with weeklies, because we all remember the days where you could have a huge high tier tournament. You could be paired against Cloud9 on a Sunday afternoon in ESL if you wanted. And yeah, you get wrecked, but it's still really fun to get to that point and find out where your team peters off. And I remember I have fond memories with my team doing that. So it was sad to see a lot of those opportunities go away. So
Well,
yeah,
I think you hit it on the head there with you talking about how much fun it is.
yeah, right.
You know, not only are you getting really good quality practice that you can take into some of the more, you know, quote unquote serious tournaments.
Mhm.
I think
right. No, yeah,
anybody who's competitive, every tournament's a serious tournament, right?
yeah, for sure.
But you know, if you're gonna go for hundreds of thousands of dollars or whatever,
Play-ins, yeah, you need to practice,
right?
Yeah.
And this is a great spot to do it, but it's also a nice spot to make a community. And if you show up every week and you're talking to people, you know, after the games, between the games, you know, whatever, like, that's fun. And you start to know more faces. You start to, you know, build that bond of community that I think we all come to gaming in some way for.
Yeah,
Right.
the other thing that's really important about the Gauntlet that people need to understand, you know, some people have made comments saying like, "Oh, not a lot of notable teams show up to the Gauntlet," and I keep saying to people like, "That's fine. We don't need those teams to show up because we do it for fun." But I think a lot of people still forget is that when people like Cloud Fuel, Octane, and all them who help with seeding, they consider the Gauntlet, the RBG weekly gauntlets, they use our tournament to help with seeding. So literally, just even if it's just $30, you know, there was a big thing going around where people were freaking out before the last play-in, saying like, "Hey, there's not enough tournaments out there for us to get a better seeding. Help!" Cloud Fuel goes, "Okay, sure. I'm gonna create something for you." He created a 64 team double elimination tournament for both NA and EU for people to play in, but because it wasn't a lot of money, a lot of DQs happened. Cloud Fuel was pissed off, and then people were getting angry and saying like, "Oh, we didn't get a good seed." It's like, well, there's opportunities for you and you're not taking it. Which is why we did make a new change to the Gauntlet, this past Gauntlet, where the semifinals are also best of 5. So both semifinals are best of 5 and the finals are best of 5. We used to do that at the beginning and then we stopped doing that, but we're going to go back to that. We are also starting the Gauntlet 1 hour earlier so we can stream both semifinals. So it usually starts at 7 p.m. Eastern. Now it starts at 6 p.m. Eastern.
Right.
And sign-ups close at 5:30 Eastern.
Yep.
Not 6:30. I had so
Mark
many
it down,
people.
write it on your calendar,
Yeah.
tattoo it on the back of your hand. Whatever it takes.
I think a couple teams didn't get the memo last week, but hopefully the word is spreading that we're earlier, and it's all with the focus of revamping the viewer experience for the Gauntlet by having it in prime time. So, you know, you can watch the semifinals, finals, find out who wins the whole thing, and still go hang out with your friends, still have a Saturday night. And the viewership numbers have reflected that. So now we're streaming both semifinals so that When you tune into the Gauntlet at 7 o'clock, you get a countdown. You can watch the quarterfinals, get ready for the broadcast, and then we're gonna come in with our casters, and we're gonna be analyzing a semifinal matchup. So there's something on the line right away because the winner goes to the finals. So we're trying to do quality over quantity with these matches and make sure that these are high stakes matches that people want to watch, teams that they know more consistently. It's rewarding teams that are going deep, making deeper runs into the tournament every week, and familiar faces that we've had a lot of. And it's really great to see the storylines. Like Daru's storyline so far in the Gauntlet has been just amazing to see unfold every week, and stuff like that. And we like with best of fives, there's less there's more consistency for the better team to win than a best of three. So we're also making the competitive side a lot more legitimate for seeding, as you can't just win 2 games and you took out if a better
best of
team than you
fives mean more than a best of 3
Right.
in reality.
Exactly. And it gives you more experience for when play-ins comes for season 8 and Rocket or for RLCS. Those are all best of 5. So real things are decided in that format. So it's giving your team practice in a long series as well.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So moving a little bit bigger picture than our weekly Gauntlet. We're getting a little bit more into DreamHack season. There's one coming up soon. Am I correct?
Yes, May 31st to June 2nd is DreamHack Dallas. We talked to our new roster, obviously. They plan to play in the qualifier. That will be this weekend, I believe, on Sunday.
Sunday at 1, I believe.
Yeah, and if they qualify, that's great. That's less on our back. They get a ticket and they fly out and done. If they don't qualify, it's fine. We're still sending them there.
Don't tell them that. Tell them they have to.
Yeah. No, but they still plan to go. And I'm excited. DreamHack Dallas is actually going to be done, or it's going to be the event will happen after RLRS and RLCS will be done. So we're going to have an entire season.
Right before LAN. Season 7 LAN is June 20th, so I guess a few weeks before. But
no, yeah. So it's literally RLCS season, RLRS season is done, DreamHack, and then the next thing is World Finals LAN, which it's in New Jersey.
We are so happy about that.
Dan Sellers and I are
mad
happy
on Reddit that it's not Europe, but I am ecstatic that it's in our backyard. Yeah, me and Josh are really pumped about that. So
Dan lives in New York City. I live in New Jersey. Literally, the place is 30 minutes from me. Dan, it's like one train ride and he's there. So
I live in a state of envy.
Right.
So
I mean, it's no matter where they put it, it's going to be pissing off most of the world. Everybody wants to go. They don't want to fly across an ocean. And I understand a lot of European fans are upset. A lot of the player base and fan base is over in Europe, but I want people to recognize that it's an American company, and hosting a world championship on another continent as an American studio is quite a logistic feat. And they're on track to do it every 3rd world championship. So that's not they're still doing it a good amount. They've done 2 already. Landon was amazing. So you have to realize the logistical challenge and be appreciative that they're even doing any in Europe. I mean, that's kind of crappy to say, but it's really impressive that they've pulled off 2 that are so great so far. And I think we can expect season 8 to be across the pond.
Right. Yeah, but to kind of come back to the DreamHack side, we will be at DreamHack Dallas.
Yes.
We don't know if we'll go to DreamHack Valencia. That is the other Rocket League pro circuit. The only way honestly, I think the only way we'll be able to go to Valencia is if our team, actually 3 ways. 1 would be our team making qualifiers and then flying out. 2, getting an investor, or 3, getting sponsors. So hopefully any of those will happen, or all of those. I will take all of them.
Yeah, right. That's gonna all happen.
If all of them happen by then, that'd be great. And I don't remember off the top of my head.
4th of July to 6th of July in Spain.
Right. What's 6 months from this month?
That'll be October.
Yeah. So perfect. Our Rocket League team will still technically be signed and they are more than likely going to go to Montreal. So it's a bummer that our old roster won't be able to go back and try to get
Oh
revenge.
yeah,
But there's not even
defend the
I don't even
runner-up
think
title.
well, I don't even think there's going to be a BYOC at it because of the pro circuit.
That's right.
Yeah, but RBG the name will still be able to go back and fight for that title. We just won't have a
Yeah.
revenge against Croissant Boys.
Right. We got to take down Taroko eventually.
At some point. Yeah, exactly.
Oh my. Well, in addition to, you said the upcoming DreamHack is Dallas, yes?
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know why I keep wanting to say Austin for some reason.
Dallas, 31st of May.
But I know DreamHack Dallas. I popped into Runny Said's stream the other day, and I know she is considering, along with some other Hearthstone players, showing up there. I know they have their hands full lately with there's a new meta change that just happened, so that's going to be really interesting to see. I'm a bit of the Hearthstone section here, I suppose.
Good.
As a big trading card like fan in general, and the competitive side of it, I'm really curious to see what will come out of tournaments like that, as they are sort of totally flipping the meta right now. A bunch of cards phasing out, a bunch of cards, coming into their own right, and things like that. I know Innovation was talking about, his Hearthstone life starts anew as of
Oh, wow.
what was it? Monday, I think it happened, was the rotation, Monday or Tuesday. So he was like, yeah, so it totally reinvents the game, and it gives everybody a whole new chance to show what they got. So
yeah. I mean, there might be apparently there's like some side stuff going on for DreamHack, like people that are putting on things for Hearthstone. There is a BYOC. I have no idea if they're gonna play in it. I just know right now we're sending our Rocket League team. We're gonna be sending a Halo team there. They almost got the roster put together. They did play a qualifier, and we're gonna see they'll probably be locked and ready to go within the next few weeks. And we're gonna be sending Smash players there. So that's just much. I don't know how much. I don't know exactly what's going on with the Hearthstone squad. I still got to talk to them and figure that out. But,
sure.
Yeah,
Well,
that's
it'll be
that's
very
going on.
exciting to see a lot of faces
Mhm.
and in Dallas for RBG.
Yeah.
So I think, are there any other events that you all would like to bring up to the community as of right now?
I know Dan Sellers and I are going to be working on putting another LAN. Helix Esports has been very happy with what we pulled off. They want to do another LAN, so we're still trying to figure that out just because of the whole RLCS going on, and a lot of Rocket League, DreamHack, RLCS, RLRS.
Yeah, right. There's not
Finding
exactly
a
a
spot
shortage.
finding a spot to kind of fit us in is a little tough. But if anyone is wondering, probably plan around May for us to host another LAN.
Yeah, and thank you
so
for
to say.
everybody who came out to Helix. We had a great turnout for our first 2v2 LAN in North Bergen, Jersey, and that was great to cast and meet everybody in person. And yeah, that was awesome. Stokely and Noxus, congratulations. It was
They destroyed it.
very impressive. They were on fire.
Yeah.
All right, that sounds awesome. I know everybody very much will be looking forward to that again. It's a good time, whether you have to tune in online or you get to show up in person and prove what you're worth.
Yeah.
So I think at this point, if you guys don't have any other things that you'd like to announce or talk about, we can move into a few of our community questions. We've got about 6 of them already prepared, and some of them overlap, and they're things that we've already talked about.
We actually
but
have a
we'll-
question in the Twitch chat.
Sure.
Really, it's an easy way to answer it. Question from I can't read your name. RL, what is his name?
Gaming
RL
MC.
Gaming MC. Yeah. Asking where is the LAN? It's gonna be New Jersey. New Jersey. It's gonna be North Bergen, New Jersey. At a place called Helix Esports. That place is actually about, I want to say, within the 30-minute range of where the Prudential Center is for RLCS. So
Yeah.
maybe
Wish you might
maybe
show up, you
after
never
party.
know.
Maybe after party.
right.
So
Well,
yeah.
All right. Well, and if you all joining us live on the Twitch chat have more things that you would like us to maybe consider now, feel free to throw it in there or throw it in the Discord for either of those joining us on Twitch or YouTube. You're welcome to use our Discord question box or use the YouTube comments, and we'll get back to it next month if we don't see it right now.
Or ask on Twitter at us at RBG Esports, RBG_esports, and use the hashtag AskRBG.
Excellent. Well, we'll get this started off with some of the ones that did get submitted to our question box on Discord. So the first one comes from user SXLVCE, and they asked, "Why didn't RBG make RLRS?" And I know
Um,
that's a bit of a wide open question, but I think it might be more valuable for our audience just to talk a little bit of like what that road looked like for us, because I know our bracket was not fun.
I mean, in reality, whether it's a wide or small question, we have Thunder in the chat with us, and he said next question.
Right.
All right, toss it.
Yeah, no, wide or broad, I don't care. Ask us any questions, and I'll be happy to answer it. In reality, why didn't RBG make RLRS? And it was like what we were saying before. If you look back into where RBG came from, we were when we started, we were at a high point, and then as Renegade Cup was happening, we fell, and then that's where the conversation of the whole roster change was going to happen, and then we went up again, and things started going well. We started winning all our scrims, and then all of a sudden planes happened, and we were rocking it. And I honestly, they had a hard like bracket. I mean, when you look at what they were doing, they got knocked down a little earlier than we were expecting in the upper bracket, and then we had a hard lower bracket. And I mean, we had diverse teams like Icy, which had Lucinio on the team. We had to take on Sway, which was the number one seed at the time, which by the way, 11-0. Just saying.
Whoa! Didn't know that.
Yeah. Sway did not score one goal on us. I'm very proud of them for that.
And we scored one goals on them. That's
One.
insane.
Yeah. So I just want to say that no, nothing against Pro Crow or anything. I still love Pro Crow and the rest of Sway. I just, it's those friendly rivalries that happen as owners of orgs. We're in a Discord together, and we all kind of message each other and be like, haha, and stuff like that. The owner of U90 and we've always gone back and forth, and now that we are in our RLRS, I can imagine our DMs are going to go flying.
Oh my god, on Friday. Jeez.
Well, not this Friday. We have a bye this Friday.
Didn't know that.
Yeah, we have a bye this Friday, and then we play for the rest of the season. But to answer the question, it really just came down to fatigue. We were the 5th match on stream. They had to play 3 extra match. Like, I think the regular bracket, if you're on the winner side, you stay on the winner side, you play 5 games, you're in. It's like 5 or 4.
Yeah, it's fast.
You add an extra 3-4 games or series. So it was
means
just
a lot.
Yeah, it took a toll on them. The players, we weren't in the comms, so we're not 100% sure what they were saying or doing in the middle of the games. But it just seems that at that point, they rocked game 1 against Defiant, and then game 2 just got tough, and then from there it kind of fell. That whole game 4 with the 0-4, we don't really count that. That was just kind of like, we can tell at that moment it was just the guys were like huffing and puffing, and there was just no more gas left, and
it's tough.
said, good job,
but
you guys
so close.
Yeah, seriously.
And it's playing into get your shot at playing with the best of the best. So at the end of the day, that's what it comes down to, is who's the best of the best on that day and prove themselves over that slog.
Yeah.
But to move things forward a little bit, with that in hindsight and moving forward, we had several questions regarding how we came to deciding on picking up the roster we did. Ryan from our friend from Playing with Rockets, who's in the server, asked us what led you, RBG, to go after this roster over others in RLRS. This is going to be an extremely competitive season with all new teams that just qualified. So just curious what you saw in them over other teams, and he gave the example of the Peeps. Now, additionally, Mexican Diabetes chimed in as well with why choose Continuum out of the other 6 orgless teams that were in RLRS.
I mean,
so if you guys can answer that maybe in a roundabout way.
Yeah, I mean, plain and simple, you're in RLRS, you're gonna probably ask for money, and it's a tough. It's honestly a tough thing to do. When you're trying to reach out to these teams. Peeps, that was an example. Easy, we are on a very tight budget. We work very hard to keep the budget in reasonable range for all the players and everything. And Peeps had another organization reach out to them, and ask, and Peepskate and like they I don't know if they like demanded it or not, but they gave a solid number and they said this or no. And the organization went, RLRS, not worth that money. I'm out. And that's the reality that a lot of players keep forgetting is like you may be an RLRS, but it's not the biggest deal when it comes to the business side of esports. It's a big deal for a player. It's for us. It's like we can't take that and go to sponsors and say, "Hey, we're in RLRS." They're gonna be like, "What about RLCS?" We'll be like, RLRS.
It's a problem for even Flipside Tactics and the Bricks and Weedham Girls before they got TSM. It's a problem in young esport to have a consistent flow of orgs ready to pay the salaries that the market is demanding.
I mean,
especially,
a lot of it goes into the whole play of the term ROI, return on investment.
Right.
And now that it took Psyonix how freaking long to finally get some stickers in and some merch.
Finally, right.
You can now finally buy decals with team items on that. Those organizations make that kind of money. They make money off of that. I don't know how much. Hopefully we will find out because we are in RLRS now, and maybe they'll talk to us about it in the future. But they make a certain amount of money because they have the rights. It's their logo, it's their IP, stuff like that. When an esport doesn't do that, it makes a lot of big organizations go, is it even worth being in it?
Right.
People go like, well, how come Cloud9 and NRG could do it? It's like, well, their players are one of the most famous players in Rocket League, and they have the money where they can just be in another game just to get some extra like numbers on their charts when they're going for stuff. Like Cloud9, I believe, just signed a sponsorship with BMW. BMW sponsors Cloud9 now. Like, but that's my point. Is like people don't see it that way. So
Cloud9,
So in reality, the answer to summarize all this, the reality was, why did we pick Continuum? It's because they negotiated with us. They actually reached out to us. They asked us, like, they were like, hey, we want to be under an org. We like the way you guys ran your org, or run your org, I should say. They complimented and said, we really like the way you run your things. We want to represent under you guys. We understand you're under a strict budget. Here's the other orgs have offered them stuff, and they were like, we're willing to negotiate. We negotiated. They liked the terms. We liked the terms. We were happy, and we went with it, and I'm very happy with what we did, and I'm very happy with what we were able to accomplish as an organization, and I'm very happy to have the three of them on the team. I'm very excited to see what they're going to be doing this season. I've been dying to hear RBG's name be announced by casters over and over again. The fact
and we got to wait one more week.
I know, don't remind me. But even the fact that even like Stacks is even complimented. Stacks went on a whole thing. I'm not going to go into it. You can just go check it out. Like, go check out his Twitter, go check out some forums and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, Aeon, Rapid, Astro, good luck to them this season. They're going to kick some butt, and I'm excited. And I think we're gonna do well. And if we want a meme answer, because I know some people just like memes and troll answers, we picked them because Rapid is 6'10" and has the deepest voice in the world. There you go. The man is 6'10". He's
rank S now.
Yeah, like, now, yeah. He just got it. There's some controversy going on in rank S right now. Some people are getting mad about him and everything, but he didn't cheat. He didn't do anything wrong. But
anyway, we
speaking of,
that's excellent to hear. I'm sure we'll get some deeper dives. Air quote, come check out the website soon. Hopefully I'll get to do a little bit longer form piece on with the guys about coming to RBG.
We're also updating our website too. I'm excited.
Yes, lots of spring cleaning going on around RBG. But to move to the end of the Rocket League topics, I think there was a question from Jakester, one of our very active community members, that was asking, do you guys plan on doing an event like Summer Bash again for Rocket League? I know that was a popular event that we had a while ago, and I guess the community is curious if that's a thing going forward.
Kind of got us started off in making large events for Rocket League, community events with serious prize pool, and it was over multiple days, and it was a large scale thing. and it wasn't something at the time that we could do consistently. So we went more to the weekly route, because there already are lots of monthly tournaments. But we had a great time with that, and I think our events have a bit of a unique flavor to them, and could definitely bring something to the monthly tournament scene. Which, I mean, there's room for improvement in all these areas, and I think now's about the time for us to start reconsidering as we coming up on the anniversary of the Summer Bash in a few months. So that's a really good idea. I had not considered it. Its time has been flying. Hadn't even realized it's almost summer again.
Yeah, I mean, I have considered. I have spoken to other staff. Dan, I've talked to you about it in the past, but we haven't talked about it in a while. Yeah, I have considered about doing something like Summer Bash. I've been wanting to do like a bigger event. I've actually been talking to some of the orgs as well about maybe combining stuff. So we will see about that. There's a chance we will be doing the Summer Bash again. So
that's great. I just remember the what was that sunny map, the beach map. I don't remember what it was, but I remember having that in that tournament as like a requirement because it's like the summer feel, and it was really
we
fun.
ended up not using it because people were gonna have a freaking migraine using it.
Right.
But yeah, I think we should move on to the next question because we are going to try to wrap up on time.
Oh yeah, right.
Sure. Siege Man has asked both in our question box and here's joined us in the Twitch chat. Thank you for tuning in live with us. But they very much want to know when is a CS:GO tournament going to happen?
So I can answer this one. Dan and I have been working pretty hard on trying to implement other games in, but the thing that's holding us back is the questions of, do we want it to be streamed, do we want it live, do we want casters, do we have people who can do all that, as well as knowing how to putting tournaments together. You know, something like CSGO is a little tough. You know, not all of us play CSGO. Maybe 3 or 4 of us in the staff actually play, including Dan Sellers. So for us to do any moderation, we need everyone to know. So a lot of it comes down to training. We don't like to just pump tournaments out there. We actually go and train our staff to handle situations, how to understand things, how to go into stuff. Like we make sure that we know exactly what we are going into before we did it. You know, we tried that with Hearthstone. There were some good things, some fails. We're gonna fix that, of course. We're gonna try to host another Hearthstone. I would like to do CS:GO, but at the moment there is zero answer to when CS:GO tournament will be.
Right. Sorry to disappoint with the lack of immediate answers. But I think a CS:GO tournament would be awesome in the future, and I know a meme team of friends that would love to go. But to have people organizing a 5-man roster for these events instead of just 3, it's a much bigger ordeal, especially with established ladders and seasons out there like ESEA. They have filled the voids much better because they've had 20 years to do it as compared to Rocket League. Mm-hmm. So it is harder to wedge yourself in to the scene, but CS is something very close to my heart, and I am always thinking of ideas for RBG to get entered into that community, and keep your eyes out at the next major. There might be something related to RBG that comes out. It's currently an idea in my head, so yeah, stay tuned.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, aside from a few sort of niche questions that we've gotten throughout in chat and in some submissions and things, which I'm sure we will get to as things progress, I think that is going to relatively
Hang
wrap
on,
it
Dan,
up.
Before we do that, we're going to do a rapid fire question. We just got a question in the Twitch chat by Optusay1 something. I'm sorry if I butchered your name. Quick question, rapid fire, just literally answer. What is your favorite games to play?
It's got to be right now for me. It's got to be Overwatch.
Overwatch. All right, Dan Sellers.
CS and Rocket League. That's it. Also, Battlefield 5 Firestorm is really fun. Everybody hates it, but I love it.
For me, it's got to be Rocket League. It's gonna be Apex and some of my speedrunning games that I still practice here and there. So there we go. Rapid fire question.
Nice.
Got it over and done with. Thank you very much for the question.
That might have to be a feature that we get to close out on one nice little simple rapid fire around the horn. But I think that'll just about do it here for our April edition of the RBG monthly roundup. thank you all for joining us live on Twitch or in video format on YouTube. Feel free to reach out to us again on Twitter, in our Discord, in the comment sections, things like that. We appreciate you all so much. We wouldn't be here without you. And we'll see you next month.
Take it easy.
See ya.